What it do? You already know what it is. Talk Your Barbership, back at it. Another special guest. I want to thank everybody that's been tuning in, showing the love, showing the respect. We got a special guest today out of Los Angeles District, Mr. Steve Ellis. So I can't wait for him to jump aboard. So, we can get into it. You know what it is. Let's talk your barbership. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Sunday. That's what it's about. Getting up, getting to it, making everything prosper. All right. Let me get it situated and I will be joining everyone shortly. We always get the little small mishaps in the morning, but work with me. We'll be joining pretty soon. I see everybody jumping in. I appreciate you guys. I see you. I see you. All right, there you go. I see Mr. Ellis just jumped on, so let me hit him with the invite. All right, Mr. Ellis, I sent you the invite.
Think I'm there now, am I?
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing well. Your camera angle is a little lopsided, so you got to.
Let's see, how do I
There you go.
get this right? I'm new to all this stuff, all this technology stuff, so
Hey,
just trying
don't
to
worry. I'm getting there myself. It's a lot of every day is changing and elevating. So trust, I'm right there with you.
all right. All good, all good.
So I just want to say thank you for jumping on my platform. Um, I know we had our one-on-one conversation, but I want to share your background, your knowledge, your information with a lot of people that are joining this industry looking for someone to help them lead into this industry, show them the gate, show them the right path. You've been in it for how many years, if my ask?
1986.
Wow. So that's a lot of experience, everyone. A lot of experience, a lot of seeing everything, been through everything, prospered through everything, and steady, still growing to give you guys the information that you need for you to make a good livelihood, make a good career path, and just be the best person that you want to be in whatever field that you fall in. But we're talking about barber and we're talking about cosmetology. Even we can talk about being an educator, which
Hmm.
Mr. Ellis is himself. So let's jump into it. I tell people that when they see the name Talk Your Barbership has nothing to do with, slashing the industry, building the industry down. It's all about uplifting. It's all about sharing information and sharing knowledge. And that's what I wanted to do when I got into this area with everyone to, show unity. I feel from what I have heard over the years is that we don't know how to really combine our knowledge, combine our network, come together and really establish a better layer of what this industry can be and what it can show a lot of young women and young men. I always wanted to give back in ways that will allow me to give back. So I thought this would be my way of giving back and just lining myself with great people like yourself and, just giving out key information. And as they are learning, I am learning myself as well. So every day I'm trying to elevate myself. So the floor is yours and I'm ready for you to share your knowledge.
Well, I guess when I say I got down in 86, that's when I actually was licensed in 86. I have probably been in the business since I remember 74, because I followed my dad into the industry. My dad was a barber. So I grew up in a barber shop. He created a product back in the Jerry Curl days, Good Fred, and I ran the streets selling that out of my trunk all through high school and all through college.
Wow.
And, then I got into the industry some years later. But I've been around this game a long time. I've seen a lot of people in this business, make a lot of money, be very successful at the skills that they possess, both from a barber and a cosmetology side.
Amazing. Let's talk about that. Seeing it around that time and being around someone that's very close to really sharing a lot of information, which is your father, and taking on a business like you just expressed. Like, tell us more about that. Like, what was it like at that time to, a lot of people don't know about the trunk aspect of selling things out your trunk and getting that hustle going.
True. I mean, yeah, a lot of new gang don't know about, hustling out your trunk. You hear rappers talk about selling, they little they CDs and stuff like that. I was selling hair care products out the trunk.
Yeah.
Barbers, I'm rolling up the barber shops one at a time. They buying a case for their client, and we stepped the game up to the supply market, and we stepped it up to Thrifties, Save-Ons, and then next thing you know, we're going national. We got to the point where the business was, topping $5-6 a year at one point in time, and primarily it was me in charge of all those sales because my dad was a barber and he was creative, but from a business perspective, he knew how to get it going, and he wanted to make sure that we picked up the slack from that standpoint. So I credit my dad with a lot of the business skills. I credit my dad with, making me want to make sure that this industry is treated with the respect that it deserves. And at the same time, growing the people who are in this industry to be professional. As you talked about teaching, I teach at the community college level over at Compton. And I have an apprentice program and, the whole 10 yards. And the one thing I tell my students all the time is you just don't do hair. You talk to a barber and, what you do, oh, man, I cut hair. No, you're a professional, man. You got to treat this thing like a professional. I say, there's 3 people we pay to touch us: the doctor, the dentist, and whoever our hairstylist is. Those
Right.
people we pay to really touch us. I mean, yeah, massages and that kind of stuff. But on the regular, those are the 3. And if you ask anybody out there, who's the one person they see more than anybody? Their hairstylist.
Right.
The doctor or the dentist, but they run to us.
Yeah.
We need to respect ourselves as much as our clients respect us with what we do for them.
Exactly. Man, you teaching today. I'm glad I have you on my platform today. Um, so transition from, and what I love the most, I'm sorry, I always be backtracking. What I love the most is that when you said that your father knew how to be creative,
Yes.
but the business aspect of it, you had to really kind of maneuver on that and learn more about that so you can get that part of the business going.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's where a lot of what we're missing today. I feel like a lot of information that's being shared is about the creative part and what you can finally get from it, the money, but it's not really teaching you how to financially and how to make sure that you're putting everything in order first
Mm-hmm.
to get to that marketing, to get to that point where you can make the money that you want to make. We're creative. We can show the creativity. We can make these videos. We can show, the foundation of a fade and stuff like that. And they'd be like, okay, now we want to charge $100, but why are you $100? What is the value besides the cut that what you're bringing into it? And is that something that you focus on as well in your academy? Like besides the cut,
Oh, yeah.
like, speak of
we,
that.
yeah. I mean, for me, it's all about the business side of the industry. I mean, when my students, when they leave school, to your point, they're talking about, going from $50 to $100 a cut. That's great. But if you don't have a plan and you don't know your numbers, then 50 to 100 just means you're spending more money on stuff you don't need. You know,
Right.
Make more money. So, we talk about, I developed a class and, I even wrote a book about it, the
All right,
mind,
there you go.
mind of acquiring wealth. I wrote a book
Yeah.
for the beauty industry and I built an online class for the beauty and barber industry to show them how to get their numbers right.
Yeah.
I play in this game and do it both ways. I mean, yeah, everybody wants to dodge and don't want to pay no taxes. And, I'm making cash, man. I ain't trying to, have them knowing what I got.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, if you want to buy a house, you want to buy a car, you want to, invest some money, that money's got to flow somewhere.
Right.
And talk about how to make that money flow, where you can put that money to best grow it, how to protect your family. We talk about all of these things in the class that I put together to try to give stylists the business side of the industry, booth rent or commission, do I shop or not? Where should it be? Should it, there's a whole lot of questions about putting a barbershop together, a beauty salon together that just doing hair don't answer. And that's where I like to focus in on is helping these young and helping people out there make good decisions. Make good business decisions. If you my boy and we've been cutting hair since we was in school, it might not be the best thing for us to open up a shop together if we have completely different values.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So you've got to have those conversations, and that's where I try to, I've set up a webinar to do this on Mondays. You can go to stevedellis.com and sign up, but it's about getting not only the money right, but the numbers right, because 90% of the people in this industry end up broke at the end of the day.
Exactly.
House in their mama's name, car in their mama's name, all because they don't want nobody to know who they are.
Right.
But the government is changing, and you ain't gonna be able to hide forever. And if you want to be legit, if you want to be recognized as a business person, then handle your business.
Facts. I know I was hearing a lot when we was using the Cash App, the Venmo, and we was using that for our transactions to get customers that if we didn't have like a card swiper, that was another easy way for you to receive funds after your service. Mm-hmm. But when they started doing where they started tracking, or they was telling you that they're gonna take a certain incentives for them to show what you're bringing in. I know I started hearing a lot of people saying, okay, I need to back away from that. I'm not going to use Cash App or Venmo. So I find that as money as well, because I'm like, this is a tracking form for you to eventually use to maybe get financing or other Yeah. So why would you want to not, show records? And we need, I know it's a hand-to-hand cash transaction, and it made it, under the radar for the government to know what you're doing. But I think we need to eliminate that and try to, be more business minded and learn the economy a little bit better, so we can be as people and not me as us people
Yeah.
more financially structured and understand how we can capitalize on this, because we always trying to do stuff under the table, and it's not helping us move forward. It's helping us move backwards.
No, for sure.
Um,
Let me. I see somebody asked the title of my book.
okay.
Title of the book is Mindset of Acquiring Wealth. It is available on Amazon, and it is available on audible.com. I'm not a reader. I'm 15 minutes to read and I go to sleep. So on Audible, because I like to, plug my headphones in when I'm working out, when I'm driving. That's when I can listen to a book. So it's Mindset of Acquiring Wealth, and it's on both Audible and it's on Amazon.com.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We're gonna definitely back to that again, because I want to put out all your information,
Okay.
Your locations and everything, and we definitely gonna be talking about that as well.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask you a question, and I'm one from your academy, and it's Untouchable Academy.
Yes.
Okay. You want to say the location, and you want to talk about the years it's been around, and and I'll get to my next question.
Okay. Well, Untouchable Academy has been around since 2017.
Okay.
I've been teaching since 2002.
Okay.
I noticed during my teaching that a lot of the students, would not come to class or miss days and that kind of thing, because I taught community college.
Okay.
Asking them, hey, where was you at yesterday? Man, I had to make me some money. I can't be up in here and, not make no money.
Yeah.
So then I reckoned back to when I got started, because I went through the apprentice program also. I said, well, maybe I need to start an apprentice program because a lot of folks were what was supposed to be a 9-month scenario in school, or 2 semesters, was almost 2 years, because they taken 2-3 days a week off. So that's when I started the academy in 1997. And I started the academy inside of my dad's barbershop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's over on 54th and Western, La Rue 10, Good Fred's Barbershop. And we have a space big enough for both the barbershop and for the academy, where the academy is housed. And like I said, we've been there since 97. We continue to meet there. The good thing about the apprentice program, it's only once a week. It's not like going to school every day. You work shop and you get paid while you're getting your hours. And that's the good thing about it. So I can get the average person licensed in 60 days with an apprentice license. Yeah. Now work in the shop, and they can get paid while they're getting hours working in the shop.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. So from the time, are you still physically teaching, or are you just leave that to your staff now?
Oh no, yeah, no. I teach once a month at the academy, because I come in with my business stuff. I have 2 young ladies that handle the education to get them ready for the exam. So I come once a month at the academy, and then I'm still a full-time instructor over at Compton College.
Okay. What are some of the questions, or what you're seeing from the students then to now, that maybe is uplifting, but also maybe is distracting them to really move forward diligently like they need to? Like, what is it that you try to pinpoint to them a lot, to like, hey, this is where you need to go, and stop worrying about that?
Well, I think the big thing now with Instagram and, being, likes and fame and stuff like that, is everybody wants to be a celebrity. The celebrity barber, the celebrity stylist, want to work in Hollywood, and all of that's great. Don't get me wrong, but there's more people walking the streets day to day than there are walking the streets of a movie set.
Correct.
So if you can service, I mean, and to that point, if you're on top of your game, if somebody makes a 10 o'clock appointment, they can walk in a chair, sit down at 10 o'clock, and be gone by 10:30, 10:05, whatever the case may be for a haircut, or let's say from a salon perspective, be gone in 2 hours, then that time is the valuable thing to them, and they will pay for that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think a lot of the young folks don't get now is how much you don't work. Your skill sets are great, but it's about the time and about the structure of your business that makes sense. And that's what people don't mind spending $100 because I know I'm gonna get in, get out. Now, if I make my appointment at 1 and I 2:30 meeting, I'm gonna be as opposed to I make my appointment at 1, I get in there and there's 3 people in front of me and the whole 10 yards, and I can plan my day. Those business people who have that money, or even the regular Joe who's got that money, values his time more than anything else. And I think that's what some of the young folks have to kind of understand, that time is important. Skills are definitely important, but time is the most valuable thing, and you should value yours the same way your clients do.
Correct. That's a very big key of that. And also customer service.
Yeah.
How you deal with your clientele, how you speak with your clientele, and then I'm sorry, continue.
Relationship. All the students come in and they I say, well, the one thing I always ask is, why you got into this? And everybody says they want to work for themselves. I'm like, you work for your clients.
Right.
Sooner you realize that, then the better off you gonna be. If you have no clients, then you're not working. So every client comes in here that's who you have to build a relationship with and work with that client to make sure everything goes smoothly and move forward from there.
For myself, I got to experience the hours.
Mm-hmm.
I experienced the wonderful tests of reading, and then the practical.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're in a different era, and I wonder if you're aware of, the hours have changed, have been cut, and they don't have to worry about the practical. How do you feel about that?
It's a dual-edged sword. I could take anybody off the street and show them how to pass the practical exam.
Mm-hmm.
It's a repetition thing. It's like, okay, back when it was a practical, let me show you how to roll the roller.
Mm-hmm.
Let me show you how to, part the hair and apply the shaving cream so you can simulate the relaxer and simulate the color, and how they want you to do the haircut. I can show you how to get past all that, from a repetition standpoint pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. The problem with, the written part of the exam is you have to want to take your both knowledge and understanding of this business to the next level. And I think a lot of folks don't want to put in that time to do that. If you're doing a relaxer, you're hearing a lot of stuff about relaxers, people getting sued, it's damaging hair, and this, that, and the other. If you don't know how to use a product correctly, that's going to happen.
Correct.
But if you know how to use the product correctly, that won't happen. How do you know the difference? What's the product? What's the difference between sodium, between calcium, between guanidine? You got to know the differences of those products. Why do I base the scalp? All of those things are things you have to study mentally, not just physically. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where the challenge comes in. Is everybody, I just want to cut. I just want to cut. We need to understand what's going on with these products at the same time.
Correct.
It's like that's part of the game. That's part of understanding how to do a proper haircut, is understanding face shapes, all that stuff. It's a lot more that goes into it from a mental state than it is just the skill sets.
I like that. I like how you deliver it, because it is. We can sit there and keep, like you said, the repetition, keep going. But if you're not actually learning the dialogue and the information of how this works, how you don't need to mix these two together and stuff like that, then I definitely get what you're saying.
Yep.
like you say, you have a program that represents both
Mhm.
fields. Um, does does cosmetology do apprenticeship as well?
Yeah,
I never.
barber and cosmetology, they both can do a print. Only thing you can't do it in the nail business, and you can't do it as an aesthetics. But as a barber and a Cosmo, yes, you can go in a salon and work as an apprentice and do all of your hours in the shop.
Oh, okay, okay. So, I know you spoke on this earlier, but for people that are jumping in now, um, what is the difference between just actually just going to school or doing, because you only need to do maybe a few days at the school, but majority of the time you're at the shop working, right?
Correct.
So,
You're doing yes.
um, speak on that, like the apprenticeship. What you think? What how you? I want to say what you think because you're in that, but like the benefit of being under apprenticeship instead of just going actually to the school.
Positive and negative.
Okay.
You go to school both as a Cosmo barber. You're going to learn the totality of the business.
Okay.
You're going to learn, even though you don't want to in barber school, you're going to learn how to roll a perm. You're going to learn how to use the shaving cream. You're going to learn how to do color. You're going to learn how to do all of those things. Same thing from a cosmetology standpoint. You're going to learn all of those things. As opposed to if you go to the apprentice program, you're, for the most part, because the barber or the Cosmo you're working under is your teacher, you're only going to know what they know. So if you want to learn as a barber, if you want to learn how to braid and the dude that you working with don't know how to braid, then you got to go take an outside class. Mm-hmm. Whereas from a school perspective, we're going to show you how to braid because that's part of the totality of hair and the education that I feel is necessary for you to learn while you're in school. I'm going to bring somebody in and going to show you how to do, show you how to do French braids, show you how to do individuals, because that's popular now. How to do twists, yeah. How to do locks, yeah. All that. But if you work for a barber as an apprentice that don't do no braiding, don't do no locks, you missing money. Correct. In that game. So, and same thing for the Cosmos. I've had a lot of Cosmos who come in and they want to do hair and makeup and nails, and or they just may want to. They've been doing weaves at the house and they want to focus on getting their Cosmo life. And they get there and fall in love with doing nails. And they've never picked up a curling iron from the time because they fell in love with doing nails. Yeah. Or they fell in love with doing makeup or facials. So school gives you a total education. The apprentice program, if there's a limit to it, it only gives you what the person that you're working for provides. But that rolls back to me because what I do in addition to the apprentice program is provide education in all of those other areas. If you're working for a barber that don't know how to braid, we got braiding classes that we do once a month. You want to learn how to get your nail game up as a Cosmo because you're thinking you want to do nails, we got nail classes. You want to learn how to do them hair pieces and all that kind of stuff that your barber don't do, then we got classes for all that. So we provide a full education at the Untouchable Academy to get you in all levels, whereas the apprentice program, you're pretty much just learning from those brothers in the shop. And not that that's bad, but what are they? They could just be cutters, and that's all you're going to get.
That's correct. So I'm starting to understand it a little more well. And I'm trying to decode it in my head the way that I see like the shop and the suites. Would you consider the barber and the apprentice almost the same thing? The apprenticeship and working at the barbershop? Because I feel like a lot of people now are like trying to move away from the barbershop and get their suites. And I feel like people feel like it's more acceptable for them not to be in school, but to be in the apprenticeship so I can just go and rush and work and make money and don't even worry about the education. Because I feel like the barbershop represents the experience, the shop ownership of you, like collaborating with your peers to kind of like bounce off each other. And and get the vibe and the customer experience and all that stuff. And but I feel like people are like trying to eliminate that and jump into suites, and I feel like that's the value of what I feel like is missing.
Yeah, and you hit that's a very good analogy, because in a suite, it's just you doing you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to. You're not surrounded by anybody. I mean, as you walk up and down the halls, you in your world, you doing your thing. Whereas in a barbershop, you actually, you've got other barbers around you. So, you may be sitting there doing your thing, but you watch the cat 2 chairs down, and his fades, his lines, he doing something that you ain't doing. So you just go down and be like, man, or nothing else. You just watch it and see how can I clean that up a bit. I was like, okay, when he hitting the clippers all the time, I always put my clipper, flat on the scalp. Maybe I need to tilt it a bit, and that'll help me work that line out a little bit, because I keep pushing the line up because I'm using it here as opposed to using it here. Because there's a difference. The clipper works the same way, 0, 45, 90. So if I hold my clipper at 90 against the scalp, I'm cutting less hair, more hair. But you don't know that unless you're watching cats and seeing that. So to your point, yes, the barbershop and the suite scenario is there's a direct correlation to that in the apprentice program, in the sense that you're only getting what's in that one little world as opposed to the whole totality of it.
Definitely. I'm loving the feedback that we're getting right now. The floor is yours. I would love for you to go through the sections and see what you.
How do I go see all this stuff, man? I'm still trying to figure. I see, they pop up one at a time. But
You just slide on the screen, and then just roll it up and down.
oh, okay. So hold on, let me see what I got here. Okay, I got a couple of ex-students watching. I earned my apprenticeship license 30 years. Let me go in the other direction.
I thank everybody that's been jumping on. I know you guys love Mr. Ellis. I see a lot of people saying Mr. Ellis is the man. You're welcome to share your feedback, the experience that you had with Mr. Ellis. If you have a question, please deliver, and we'll answer it. Either I or Mr. Ellis will jump onto the questions and deliver what you want to be heard.
Well, I would say this. You talk about the money of it. I would say probably 80% of the barbers out there don't even know how much money they make. Because it's cash. It's just running through their hands. I had a good day. Today I did 500-600. I'm going to go out with the boys tonight, have me some drinks, go buy me XYZ, and you run through, 75, 100, whatever. At the end of the day, if you start putting those numbers together, you realize at the end of the year, you could have expensed that $10,000 and took that income and made it better for yourself, as opposed to hiding it the whole 10 yards.
Facts. My boy, DA, the barber, how can I build my barber?
Build it?
Build my barber. So I believe he's referring to one of his staff that he's trying to help to build his barber, or how can I build my barber? Okay.
Well, I would always say this, and trust me, I go through this with my students.
Yeah.
You can't want it more than they want it.
Facts.
When you're talking about building a barber, you can see the potential in someone, but if they don't see the potential in themselves.
Sorry about that. He said I made a mistake. My barbershop. How can he build his barbershop?
Again, he's got to go out and find some young brothers that are, of course they got to have the cutting skill. But, if you work in a barbershop, man, you want your space to feel like a family. And you've got to have the right personalities in there to have that work. I mean, the barbershop, more than any place, is a place for conversation and, for growth for men. Men get in the barbershop and talk about stuff that they talk about at home with their wives, because they're amongst the brothers. they're trying to get another opinion, about what's going on. And if you've got, it's good to have varying opinions, but, if you've got the wrong kind of vibe in there, some cat that is always way to the left of what the opinion is, and that's okay to be to the left as long as you can have a conversation about it. But it's a matter of trying. It's really just finding the right people. Having a conversation with them when you interview them, and the interview point is important because you're trying to see who they are as a person. Correct. At the end. Because again, everybody wants to work for themselves, but you own a barbershop. Are you boofering or commissioning? Because if you boofering, now you do this dude who's in your shop running his chick,
right.
His shop in your shop.
Right.
So you got to have a connection there and a conversation about that.
Yeah. That's definitely something we're gonna stick on, right? But I have another question that was on here.
Sure.
Does your school offer classes for braiding and locks for licensed barbers, or is it just for new students?
Both.
Okay, both. Okay.
Anybody who wants to learn. Yeah, we work with some folks who do classes for youth to introduce them to our business. So we take, cats in want to learn how to cut hair. They still in high school and think they like it. So we have classes to help them get better, along with high school girls that want to braid and help them get better. And at the end of the day, hopefully they move in and want to get professional. Then boom, now they, come in and either go to school or go through the apprentice program. But the flip side of that is because school was cut from 1,600 to 1,000, a lot of the schools aren't necessarily given everything they used to. So
that's correct.
Trying to get your skills up, boom, we got classes for that we do during the evening. And again, you can go to Untouchable Academy on untouchableaa.com, and we're gonna, we're working on putting that packaging together. So at the first of the year, braiding, haircutting, men's units, locks, twists, all that stuff you want to learn how to do that you may know, come on down. We'll have classes that will introduce you to all of that.
Fire. I'm gonna go back to the question we were speaking about, referring to financially understanding the cash that we get, because we learned that once we get the money in our hand, we want to spend it fast.
Yes.
Someone Cuts by Zeke said, "What's a great way to keep track of your financials?"
I mean, at the end of the day, you can. If you're using one of the apps, then the app should be able to keep track for you because you book everybody through the app. Worst case scenario, at the end of the day, you can go back and say, "It's cut. I did 6 today. That's 300." So you know what those numbers are at the end of the week, and you should every week go back and look at those and say, "Okay, I did $4,000 this week."
Mm-hmm.
If I'm putting it in the bank, or if I ain't doing it, I'm sitting it on the counter, on the bedroom counter, is there $4,000 there?
Mm-hmm.
And if there's not, what did I do with the rest of it? Because 60% of what you spend money on could be a taxable expense.
Mm-hmm.
You could say I took the whole $4,000 and I was able to deduct, $1,200 of that for taxes. But most people take the whole $4,000 and don't do nothing with it. They put a little bit in the bank, a little bit in that envelope in the closet, so they can make sure they have cash. And, the goal is I tell everybody, you should have a budget. You should know what your numbers are. How much money do I spend? How much is rent, gas? I'm hanging out. Them Air Jordans I buy every other week, all that. How much am I spending on all this stuff? Because, again, if you were to look at that at the end of the month, you're going to go, damn, I spent a lot of money on some stuff I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a plan where I show folks how to use their tips. And I'll give a quick scenario about this real quick.
Okay.
If you're doing 5 clients a day, each client gives you a $5 tip.
Mm-hmm.
So you put Then I got this from DL Master Barber. You put the tip money in your left pocket, the haircut money in your right pocket. At the end of the month, 5 clients a day, 5 days a week, $5 tip. You got $500. If you invest that $500 in a tax-free vehicle, tax-deferred vehicle, you will have saved $180,000 in just cash over a 30-year period. If you've got it growing at a rate of 6%, you've got over $300,000 a month, $300,000 of money that you saved over your career. What does that mean? That means you can get a check every month for $3,000 tax-free for the rest of your life. Damn. And that's just tip money.
Wow.
That's just tip money. But most people don't know where to put it and what to do with it.
That's amazing. I mean, you just taught me something new.
If you add a haircut, you know, you can. I've got people now that are putting away $10,000, $15,000 a year, and they don't even see it. Again, it's tip money. It's 1 client a day. I'm gonna put 1 client a day in my back pocket, and I'm gonna take all that money. I'm gonna put it in my account, and then boom, that money is gonna go directly to my investment stuff. I'm not gonna worry about it. And they're, you know, looking at, we're playing with the numbers, and they're looking at saying, man, they're in their 30s. I want to stop when I'm 50. I got 20 years. What I need to do. And we're putting that together and making it work for them. And that's that class we do every Monday. Like I said, if you go to stevedellis.com and go to Be the 10%, that's the class we're doing every Monday to show people how to get it done and then set up one-on-one to work out your individual situation to make that happen.
Okay. Say your information one more time so people who didn't catch that.
stevedellis.com. And when you get there, go to Be the 10%. And that Be the 10% class kind of walks you through what we talk about, how we talk about, and how to structure a relationship with your money. Excuse me.
Take your time, man. Take your time.
Yeah.
Somebody don't want that knowledge to be given today.
Working against me, yeah. I always get to start talking to Chris. But yeah, that's where we discuss it. And then everybody's situation is different. You know, we're trying to help barbers be better men, take care of their family, the whole thing. Yards, women to be strong and support their man, and at the same time, maybe if you're a single woman out there doing this game, how do you make sure you structure your business? You know, that so you can have yours, not have to depend on nobody. It goes both ways.
Yeah. Man, like I said, when I knew you was gonna come aboard and speak today, I just wanted to really sit back and see you go at it because you delivering some information today, and I'm looking forward to this continue this conversation going and see what else I can store in my little catalog because this is some game right now. I love that you're shining light on all areas of the industry, especially for like people like my boy just said, like how to establish a barber shop that he feels like he wants to make a home for everybody, not just I'm an owner, I have my own shop and I just want to collect funds. Like he's really trying to build something from ground up and showcase a working area of people that really care about the people that come into his shop, and when they leave the shop, they are leaving with experience. I know over the time of COVID, it really shifted a lot of things. It really opened up a lot of, I say, business strategy, business opportunities, and also eliminated a lot of negative, and now it's trying to establish a lot of positive in this industry. What is it that you see now that you like more of what's going on now that is killing what was going on before in the industry?
The fact that these social media platforms, platforms like yours, platforms like Instagram, allow you to, they're good and bad, but they allow you to see a lot more. I mean, back before, like I said, it was about passing out cards and word of mouth. Now you can go on Instagram, Google cuts in LA, and if you got a wavy texture hair that everybody keeps messing up because they don't necessarily know, I mean, they cut that hair in the grain, then go back, get the fade off. They just comb it all one way, cut it. It's fuzzy, in 2 days because they don't understand some of those dynamics. You can see everything and get a better idea of who to go to based on your hair, your head, and how you want to wear it. So that's a great advantage now for these guys to build their clientele and, get out there and have people to know who you are is to post your work, because this generation spends tons of time looking at pictures and wanting to get it done. And again, this game has always been about pictures. I mean, 90% of the clients in your hair come in and be like, man, can you cut my hair like this?
Yeah, right.
So they bring in a picture from a magazine or someplace else.
Yeah.
So Instagram just becomes that now. I want my hair cut like you did this dude. And I see that you not cut that hair like I like it. So I'm going to come to you. Whereas before, you just trusted that if you brought me the picture, I could do it.
Correct. Yeah, that's dope. And the barbershop identity and leadership. I know you're not too close to that, but I know you probably hear a lot of people coming to you and sharing their downs, the issues that they're dealing with when they have their staff. What it's like my boy was saying, how can I structure a better barbershop? How can I bring better? Does that start from the owner himself, or how should I say, should he be saying how do I bring? What is it that I'm missing out of myself that doesn't give me the barbers that I want?
That's a dual question. I mean, yes, as the owner, you've got to be firm and structured, and people respect the firmness and the structure of what the shop is and be upfront with what that is from the get-go. And then talk to again, it's the interview process. I mean, you got to bring you his pictures, and he a bomb hairstylist, but you want to have the question. It's like, okay, so what's normally your rotation in a day? When do you take your first client? Well, it depends. I mean, if I ain't got nobody, then, I don't really take a client till they get there. Red flag for me. Because for me, as a barber, and you got hours, well, I'm expecting to hear what I did, and I know this is versus new. But if I'm going to be in the shop and I'm working Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 6, then I'm going to be down there at 10 regardless. Because somebody might hit me on the gram and say, yo, man, I wanted to come through. My bad. Been meaning to call you for 2 days. Are you there? Because you're supposed to be there at 10. And you're like, oh, no, man, I'm not there. I can meet you, though, in an hour. Well, he got stuff to do. He's trying to get there. And hopefully you want to build that kind of consistency where they know when you're supposed to be at work, you would work.
Correct.
So that's the kind of stuff you're asking these young guys when they come in. How are they structuring their lives? What are your hours? When you're on your Instagram, I would say on your Instagram, well, what's to say your hours are? Well, I don't have no hours on Instagram. Well, why? You work by appointment only? Well, yeah, I work by appointment only. Well, but you still have to have a range. So if somebody come at 6, you gonna come at 6, or you gonna tell them no, you don't start till this. And if they coming at 6, do you charge them more money, or what you gonna do? Because from a barbershop perspective, if I own the joint, be it booth rent or commission, okay, if you try to come at 6, so I got to give you keys so you can get in at 6. Or if it's a commission shop and we open at 9, then why are you booking people at 6? How you gonna get in? So all of that kind of conversation is the dynamic that you have to have with these young guys to build a business and help structure them if they don't know at the end of the day. And they be like, and he be asking too many questions and this, that, and the other. That's fine. That means you wasn't meant to be here. But somebody's gonna want that structure and want to be able to live in that realm, because you need to create that window for you, and whoever you work with needs to understand what that window is also.
Definitely. I also like the talk. I heard you speak on this before, about the family stuff, and now me, being married, and definitely try to be a part of the industry, the barber world, and then still trying to take care of my home as well, because I know sometimes your hours have got to be at the shop, and you got to do whatever you got to do to build your clientele but you still got a woman at home that wants that family life, that family understanding, to be there, to cuddle, to watch. How do you manage all that, especially in this barber industry?
You got to tell the truth. Trust me, I've been in this game. My wife called me many a time. You finished yet? And I know I just started to cut. Yeah. I'll be done in about 15 minutes. I'm on my way. And it's like, it's going to take you 30 minutes to do the cut. And you ain't started yet, and this, that, and the other. So you just got to be upfront about it, because, you get to the point. My wife got to that point. I said I'd be home at 7. She knew 8. It was 8:30. But again, over a period of time, that becomes a problem in a relationship. Yeah. They can't trust what you say. You're not a man of your word. You tell me you're gonna be home at 6, and that kind of stuff is what you want to avoid at the end of the day. So it's about being upfront, especially with your spouse, as to again, when your hours are, so they know you leave in the morning at this time, you usually get home at this time. Mm-hmm. And building that consistency so that relationship at home now is proving to be as valuable in both your eyes and her eyes as she wants to see it. Because I think it's about making money and grinding. I couldn't, couldn't take that last few hours. As soon as I was getting ready to leave, he walked in and said, so I just, all right, come on. That kind of thing. Yeah. She made dinner at home waiting on you. Get home, and now she all fired up because you didn't even know.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I see that. I'm starting to notice this a lot, especially on the whole social media platform, where they discuss the healthy mindset, and that we sometimes we forget that we need to take moments for ourselves and understand that if we're not healthy behind that chair, it's not going to deliver the way it should deliver within your customer, your clients, and the service that you're trying to provide. How do you, knowing that you're in the industry that's very fast paced, and you're very much on demand, this is what you need to do to really survive. How do you find that space where you can say, okay, I'm gonna take a moment away from myself, especially in this type of industry?
Again, it's about planning. Take a vacation, take days off, get yourself a massage to make sure your legs, your arms, your body is feeling right on a regular basis. Those kind of things are what you've got to, you enjoy spending time with, with family and with friends, and, If you're trying to grow to the next level, as everybody always says, then you may find a new friend group of guys that are, going to, be on, lives like this where you kind of see who's responding, who's asking questions, getting with those people and saying, man, I just want to be around folks that are talking about positive stuff, not just all this drama that's going on. Who you're surrounding yourselves with, and again, focusing the time that you have to take care of your body, massage it, that kind of thing, manicures, those kind of things, and then spending time away from it will sometimes help you appreciate it more at the same time.
Facts. I always, this is another question I have for you, and I'm starting to learn it very well as myself now, especially now that I'm establishing myself with this content and reaching out to people and getting their experience, their advice. And like I said, when I first came in the industry, I always heard that this was like a me competition. Like, like barbers really didn't connect. Barbers really didn't share really information. Only barbers that really kind of really talked to each other was just the barbers that was set in their own environment and in their own shop. Like they really didn't like connect with other barber shops or connect with other barber owners. And like it was, that type of, almost set up like a gang thing. Like, I'm over here, you over there. We don't mingle.
Right.
How did you find your way and how did you gain the respect that from your peers for them to be like, okay, Ellis is that dude. I want to connect with him on things. I want to talk to him.
I mean, I think to your point, I mean, the activity is important because you want to talk to everybody that's out there in the game and see what they're doing, because as a community, you can establish the standards. Mm-hmm. I.e., if we talk about Barber, it makes no sense to me to come out of school and talk about doing $10 haircuts to build my clientele. If I'm talking to and networking with all the barbers and we're saying, no, man, you got to get at least 25, at least 30. Well, what happens is the world at large comes to recognize, well, dang, when I called him, he was 30, and he was 30, and he was 20, and everybody was this, I guess that's just the going price now. Mm-hmm. So now you can get your money as opposed to trying to cutthroat it and get in and thinking that means something. Mm-hmm. Because again, if you're doing it at 10, you're just working twice as hard as me for the same money.
All right.
Benefiting you at all.
Yeah.
So why not let's work together and set the standard of what that pricing is going to be and what to expect in the industry, i.e. the professionalism. When you come in, hey, what you getting today? Those kind of things. Establishing that so it becomes a standard and not just a one.
Fire. I could go on and on and on, but I'm not going to take up for your whole Sunday. This was truly amazing. I always tell, the people that step on my platform, this is not a one-time thing. I would love to, sit down with you again. And when I come up with some new things that have jumped on my plate, and I'm like, who can I talk to? And I can be like, oh, let me hit up Mr. Ellis and share this with, my followers of some information or something that came my way.
Always.
But
bro, always.
But I want to leave you with this, and I want you to, share what it means to you. Law of attraction, and how does that work in your everyday, as far as your business, as far as your family, as far as yourself?
The law of attraction starts with knowing what you want. And once you know what you want and set your goals and your expectations, then God is going to find a way to start bringing people to you that share those same wants and desires. The law of attraction isn't going to work if you out there all over the place. He's going to, iron sharpens iron. If you're looking to grow and develop, then he's going to bring brothers that'll help you grow and develop. if you're paying attention to what, if you just out there doing nothing, then it's going to be the same, you know, you're not going to have anybody give you a focus at the end of the day. I mean, your goals are your goals, but if somebody else is working towards something too, then now you got somebody to bounce that off of and talk about, man, I'm trying to do this and this, but it ain't working. And they may be able to give you a nugget to help you, or you may be able to give them a nugget that can help them.
Yes.
In that regard. And that's why I like, you know, doing things like this. That's why I like inviting speakers to talk to my students, because everybody's path was different.
Yeah. And
we are all in different places, but none of us get here by ourselves. So it's about finding, you know, a team, and we talk about that barbershop connection, or those one or two people that are your people that you can talk to about this. Because, you know, everybody needs a place to visit too.
Right.
You know, you can't go home to your wife. She ain't trying to hear about all that stuff happening to
right.
boys, and you start finding out there's a lot of clients like that.
Yeah.
So why am I tripping so much on them when there's a lot of them out there? That ain't just me. There's a lot of clients out there that get the mirror and be looking at everything like, you know, and I tell people all the time, I said, you know, men are worse than women when it comes to their hair.
Oh, yeah.
They got the mirror, they checking front and back and, you know, all that stuff. Yeah. But don't take it personal. That's part of the game. Yeah. It's part of the game. But, you know, again, being around like-minded people is the biggest thing to growth in that regard. And having your own goals, you know, you if you don't know where you're going, then you're just running around doing, you know, you're just running around.
Running in circles. Yep. Well, I want to say thank you very much for jumping aboard. This was awesome. This is not going to be a one-time thing. And you already know how we get down. So I just say I truly appreciate you jumping on and say, hey, Gary, I want to do that. I want to talk that barber shit. So
yeah. I appreciate you having me on, my brother. And like I said, I look forward to getting back and doing this again sometimes.
Definitely, man. We gonna keep it going.
All right. Good.
Have a great Sunday.
You too now.
All right.
Bye.